6 players remain, but only one can be crowned Premier League champion. The final of Season 4 kicks off in Las Vegas right now.
12 of the finest poker players came to the M Resort in Las Vegas to claim the Premier League crown. It has been the most exciting season yet.
It's important for me to come out and win and to prove to the world that I'm for real, and I am one of the greatest tournament players out there.
This is my first opportunity to play in the Premier League, so obviously I want to start off with a bang and just win it right off the bat.
From me, you can expect anything, so just watch and anything is possible.
Do I think I have a shot? I mean, I'm putting up 100 grand, so that should tell you something.
I just want to add another championship to my name. I want another crown. Number 4. I'd love to make it Premier League 4.
This experience is something only a few can dream of.
I'm going to bring everything I got to the Premier League. It's going to be tough to beat me.
But when you play poker, it's not like there's something you're going to do today. You have done your homework, you know how to play, then you get there and you fight.
We're at the starting line. Let's bring it on. You know, it feels great.
I don't think about the money in any tournament I sit down and play. I would win it now and give you the money.
I want to show the whole world how much of an edge I've got. And even the top professionals, I know I'm loads better than them, and I'm here to prove it.
There's 12 great players in this field, $1.5 million in prize money. It's the Premier League 4, baby! Deal me in!
That is what I'm talking about. I am the worst. Bam!
I wouldn't underestimate him in an 8-handed game because this is the size of field when he used to win.
We're gonna fucking dance.
No idea what in the world's going on here.
Yeah! I hate poker so hard. Oh my lord, this is so sick.
Having fun.
Is that what you call having fun?
But I'm gonna punish you, I promise.
You don't take it to a personal level. I mean, it's just poker.
It means every other time we play, it's gonna be a hell of a show.
And you know what? I'm going to expect to be wrong sometimes, you know?
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh! Need some of that!
Can we get security?
I'm just so happy with the way I'm playing.
We're happy with the way you're playing too, Phil.
Damn it!
Oh, God. Dang.
Must be good. It's good. It's fucking good, and that's what I'm talking about. I waited, I trapped him, I checked behind, I free bet, I did everything right. And if it's a jack or a 10, something's getting broken.
Come on, the razor! Hey, hey!
I'm steaming.
Bottle of wine, please.
No! You don't even deserve to ride the truck. The worst. An embarrassment.
I know.
And the monkey at the back!
Wait, hold on a second. Best wishes on your retirement.
It's the gayest shit I've ever seen.
All the best players know when to quit at the top. You're 7 years too late.
All day long.
What's it like to ever hit a flop? Like, ever?
Sick.
This deal is just incredible. I mean, this is just unbelievable. I haven't won one hand.
Yeah! Shouldn't even be allowed to play. You're beyond dumb.
I guess maybe one of us is dumb, Tony. I'm not too sure who it is, so.
Fuck it.
At least you put your money where your mouth was.
In your eye, David Benjamin, you arrogant guy. Fucking think you can angle me. You just got so pwned, it's a joke.
I'm ready to die. You're not ready to die.
You've declared war. I've accepted your terms.
You just shut up.
Yes. That's kind of weird. Yeah, baby, that's it. Let Helmut hit one. Yeah. Turn an ace to end this race, yo.
Yeah! Yeah! Yeah!
Every tournament should be like this.
This is the best shot in poker?
I can't fucking wait, I'll tell you right now.
After 6 grueling heats, the final lineup is now complete. The players taking their seats are WPT champion Phil, the Unabomber Lock, who has won 3 out of his 4 heats.
This is the Premier League's 4th year. It's a super prestigious tournament. Coming in first would be huge. Even though second is like crazy money and you can buy a house with that kind of money, people really don't remember second. It's like crazy. People remember first. I'll go home and I'll smile. I tell you, I honestly will.
Winner of 4 WSOP bracelets, Daniel Negreanu. He had a rough start and had to win a heads-up match to get this final seat.
You know, obviously, I play poker now for titles. It's not about the money for me, it's about winning. This would be a feather in my cap. the prize money would put me back in the lead in terms of the all-time money lead, and that's something I play for. That's why I play poker. And when I saw you grab him, I went like this in my mind.
Winner of WPT and WSOP bracelets, David Benjamin. He had a strong performance in this Premier League and won a heat to make this final table.
Each time I play, whether I play for small money or bigger money or a tournament or a bigger one, I'm always trying to give my best.
That's pretty cute.
Triple Crown winner Roland DeWolf had to win a heads-up bout to win his seat.
I'm ecstatic to make the final. Really, I'm really pleased because this is history in the making for the Premier League. 3 consecutive finals and the most amount of finals ever to be made in the Premier League, and what a tough way to do it. I should have got a Phil Lack as a nip, do not pay him off t-shirt.
Online qualifier Giovanni Safina. He qualified for $100, won the online final, and went on to shake up this Premier League.
When I took part in the €100 qualifier, I only did it to come here and win. One thing is to dream, and quite another to succeed. But here I am today. Winning would be fantastic for me, my family, my son, everybody.
I'm talking about Giovanni.
Online trash talker Luke Full Flush Schwartz has been a dominant force at the table this season and has now made 4 consecutive TV finals.
This final's got a few bigger names, but I'm not worried about anyone. I'm worrying about myself, and I'm going to win it, and that's all that matters. Just a donkey, you are.
Each point in the league stand is converted to 10,000 in chips, and here are the chip counts start of the final. Phil Lack, leader with 480,000, while DeWolf, the short stack, with only 220,000.
Some of poker's biggest stars are in action here tonight at the M Resort for the final of the Party Poker Premier League Poker Season 4, plus an online qualifier who could turn his $100 into a $400,000 top prize and take down one of the most coveted titles in poker. Phil Hellmuth and Jesse May are taking you through this one.
It's always about final tables, and I'm here with someone who knows a lot about them, 11-time WSOP bracelet holder Phil Hellmuth. Phil, nice lineup for this one.
Great lineup. It's going to be a long match. And, you know, I mean, David Benjamin is a poker player's player. This guy plays 150 hours a week for months at a time. The guy's played so many hands. And, I mean, I have to believe that he's the favorite. Phil Lack, you know, he could be there. Yeah. Phil Lack has a massive chip lead. He's capable of mixing it up. I think maybe he'll play a big pot in the final 3, maybe with the worst hand, Phil Lack will, or a coin flip that'll determine who wins. Daniel just wins every race, so look for him to be there.
And what about the qualifier? I mean, obviously not so much experience, but he's gotten to this stage.
I mean, you have to give him some credit. My hat's off to him. I mean, it's pretty amazing what he's accomplished to just come from like playing in a small stakes internet thing to sit down with these great players. I mean, he's, you know, at the breaks he wants pictures with us and stuff like that. And so, you know, it's obvious he's kind of fans. And so it's amazing what he's done. I just don't think he can win it, though.
And don't forget about impact player Luke Schwartz. I mean, he's played some of the most exciting hands. How far can he take it?
It's the final table of the Premier League. Poker number 4, 6 players, 1 trophy, and Phil Hellmuth. I like this lineup. I don't know what's going to happen.
I love this lineup. A lot of weird things could happen. I mean, you know, David Benjamin, I think, is the favorite. To me, he has second chip position, but he's a player's player, baby.
And I guess it's all going to talk about who's going to set the pace, you know, because there's 1,000, 2,000 starting stacks. Everyone's got a chance. Phil Lack, of course, chip leader, 480,000. But even Daniel Negreanu, who's the second shortest stack, has got, what is it, 130 big blinds to start. I want to talk a little bit about the styles. I mean, we know that Negreanu and Lack open a lot of pots. We know Benjamin's a caller. We know Schwartz is a 3-better. How's that going to clash?
I think it's going to be very interesting, and Daniel being on Luke's left is at least good for Daniel. I mean, he really hates having the big stacks behind him, but they're relatively tight players. So.
If you don't win this, you're going to be on the street, right?
I wonder if Phil Lack's going to kind of be hampered in because Negreanu opens so many pots. You know, Lack's going to either have to call or 3-bet, which isn't really his style.
Well, and here we have the very first hand, and Daniel's come out attacking.
See what I have.
Deuce 5 suited.
This is always gives you like the fake fold.
Deuce, I'm not calling.
Okay. This always gives you that whole fake fold thing because you pull your cards off the glass and it's like such a
slow roll.
It's such a slow rolling.
How sick is
Deuce
that?
7?
He said
it's
if it's 7 deuce, I'm not calling, and then it's suited.
Get me dead. I had 3 outs to your hand.
6-2.
No, I had 3. I had 3 outs to your hand.
You have, yeah, but you have 40% of a straight flush. He doesn't.
That's why I raised 40% of a straight flush. I know the math. 2 out of 5, 40.
Can you still win without them?
Now, of course, on Benjamin's immediate right, as Phil locked the chip leader, that's perfect for David. And Daniel, who's going to be making all these weak little raises. So,
I mean, it looks to me like already it's set up where Benjamin is going to be playing loads of flops in position against Negrano and Locke. But here we go.
And Roland DeWolf, 2 queens, what to do?
Which part of?
It's gone for the 3-bet.
They say it all over London.
But even the 3-bet right now with the stacks this deep, it allows for a lot of play, right?
And Benjamin insta-folded his ace, so I mean, that's the one thing that I like about Benjamin. I mean, he doesn't waste a lot of time, and he'll come over the top enough, but then when you come over him, he'll just lay it down right away.
Fold. Fold. Fold.
It's a good decision.
Fold.
These 2 might not be the easiest blinds to get through as well.
No, not too easy. I'll raise when I have, like, you know.
Actually, it's starting off pretty slow, isn't it? Little limp in from Benjamin, and DeWolf is looking active, but he's had 2 big hands, the queens, now the king-queen suited.
Now here's the thing, Benjamin snap called him with deuce 8, and this is actually, you know, I mean, you'd think that the king-queen in position with the best hand is in good shape, but Roland DeWolf knows that David's really tough to bluff.
Only Benjamin can do this, and he just plays so strong post-flop.
I guess it's the 9 deuce and not the 8 deuce.
118, eh? No, I don't know. Versus 8.
DeWolf sitting up tall. Has he really got to bring something different to the table if he wants to win this?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Well, I mean, yeah, I don't know if Roland. Well, we'll see. I like the way he played that hand.
It didn't look good for me.
After the ace 2 ace hand.
I think yes, to answer your question. I think he does. I mean, he hasn't been bluffing enough, Roland. You know, he's not picking up enough free chips. I mean, he made it through that match the other day. The final match, he had to make the final 3 to make it. And he made it through that by just playing hands. I mean, he never got out of line, and he got lucky, in my eyes, to be able to pull it off. He said, what do you mean I got lucky? I said, you were down to 120,000, right? I said, I guess you were supposed to finish in the top 3, and he just smiled. I got him.
Re-raise, 15,000.
Re-raise from Safina onto Benjamin's button. And the quick call from Benjamin. Now,
he's against king-queen suited again, this time with deuce 3 suited. Last hand with 8 deuce suited. But he knows he can outplay Safina, and he's in position. There's a check. David check. I was surprised he might not have taken a little pop at that.
Safina is still the mystery man. The guys have been playing with him for, you know, a couple of matches now, but what do they know about him? What are his how predictable is he?
He's very predictable. I mean, I found him to be incredibly easy to read personally, and I mean, when he re-raised and David called, I think that whenever that happened and he and I played a pot, I knew that Safina had, I don't know, like a king, queen, and ace, jack, somewhere in that range. When it came the undercards, he was ready to just give it up because he assumed that I started with the better hand. So Benjamin really should have bet the flop there if he's playing optimal poker.
Raise 6,000.
And I think this is going to be a trend. You know, if Negrano's out, Locke may be in. If Negrano's in, Locke may be out. Benjamin just always calls here. He just never re-raises, does he?
He called with the 8s, and Roland folded the ace-9 right away.
Four.
Couple pocket pairs. Schwartz also from the big blind.
This is one of those hands. I mean, if something, you know, I mean, okay? It's pretty harmless up there. A lot of times somebody can get themselves in trouble when you're against 7s and 8s and you have overcards. Let's see what Phil Locke tries to do. Too many players to bluff, he
Should
said.
Benjamin be firing out here?
David Benjamin will fire here.
Narrow the field, see what he's up against.
He has to find out now. He can't let an overcard come off. I mean,
That's 14,000.
now Safina may well call here.
It's tough to call though, right? I mean, if Safina calls, where's he going with it? Just see what happens on the turn.
Yeah,
sort of thing?
I mean, you know, it would be tough for him really to.
Fold.
Wow, what a good fold there.
Fold. Fold.
Quick takedown. Nobody goes after Benjamin.
It was very limited. I was like, oh, okay, well, 7,300. And I was like, well, there's no thing in the world I want now. Yeah. It's really pretty weird. I was like,
If there was $100 bill on the floor.
Roland wanted to
The
pay
one
me
thing that's
5,000
really
to start
against
running
Phil
around the
Locke is
table
he's
and do all
won
these-
3 matches,
and I was
and
like,
people
if
at
you
home
just
are
see
like,
Eddie
what do you
Hearn
mean he
spinning
won
in
3
his
matches?
grave,
How
you
can
know?
that work against him? When
What
you
is
win
Phil
3
doing?
matches, everything you're doing is working.
So I had to say no to
And
all
you
the-
might, it
whatever
gets to a
he
point where you're not
ordered.
even playing
Oh,
good,
no,
but it
he
just
wouldn't.
keeps working.
I have a
And so
question.
he's a
Who
little
at the
bit
table
out
would
of
you
like,
get
with
the
everything
for?
working, who knows what kind of strategy he's going to end up bringing, you know, to the table. He may bring a losing strategy.
You're walking down the street, okay, and you don't have anything to do that day.
When is that ever going to happen? I have leisure activities I must pursue.
You have an afternoon off, okay?
Okay, yeah.
What's the longest you would walk out of your way if you knew there was a $100 bill lying on the ground that you could pick up?
Is it like, it's a different thing if there's a $100 bill every X yards and I can just make a thing of
it's only
just
one. Just one.
I guess if it was in the mailbox when I checked the mail that morning, that would be a delight, but that's like already in my path.
No, I mean, if
Extra
someone
distance.
said to you there's 2 miles away, there's a $100 bill on the ground.
I don't know, probably 800 miles. I would hop hobo. I would be like a hobo and hop trains for 800 miles.
I heard a story that once you were in
Hey,
the cinema,
how about this?
and you had to
And,
buy a ticket
I mean,
for your
Benjamin
show,
is.
for your I Bet You show.
First
and
of all,
then
he 3
you
bets
realized
so
you had
little,
most of the
but
story,
second
right?
of all,
Go ahead.
he's
realize you
trying
had
to be in a
like a
position.
part of it, though.
Do you
You
want a
realize that you
smooth
had
call here, or
bought
is
a
it
ticket
is that
for
a
$7
warning
that
sign?
you haven't used.
If I were Daniel, I'd like to see a smooth call because he knows that Benjamin reads him well. And so I'd like to smooth call to throw him off.
I think it was a matinee show because to win the bet, I had to get a matinee ticket or something. It was part of like, because getting an adult ticket was
Now,
no
the
problem. I
reason
had to get a
Daniel
matinee
just
ticket.
called is David
sorry,
might
like a
have
children's
queen
ticket.
10 offsuit
Yeah,
here,
without
and that's
having
what
a
you
child
think
there.
sometimes.
So
You
when
know,
you
at the
realised
next
that you
level
spent this
thinking
money
is,
on the ticket,
I'd hate to
you
get him
walked
off a
everyone
hand
was
like
going to
king
a restaurant,
queen.
you walked back like 6
But
blocks.
I mean, wouldn't Benjamin have stacked off with Ace King, or not stacked off, but on the flop? And now it's a little bit different. That's 7.
Well,
kind of a
7's
weird
a bad card because everybody knows Daniel plays 7-8.
It's 38,000.
Okay, now it's Daniel's turn to either make a raise, like for all of it, or a lot of it, or he could smooth call one more time. Now, Daniel in his mind is wondering, okay, Daniel has to assume I have the best hand. So making that assumption, and he can't fold. So there's 2 assumptions he has to make immediately. So the question is, what does David have?
4.
He's
wow,
going for the call.
Daniel, wow,
and,
great.
And a street of value on the river either way, right? You either call David or...
Well, the problem is that the problem is you've given him a free shot at a king or a queen. Okay, he's missed it. So you gave him a free shot at a king or a queen when you might not get paid that much on the river. Now, Benjamin may fire out 50,000 here as a semi-defensive bet.
Wow. Is Benjamin actually, is this a really tough spot for him, or has he gotten trapped?
Daniel has just trapped him so perfectly. David has to bet because he has to call. So if you have to call, if Daniel's going to bet 70,000 to 80,000, you have to call it. You might as well bet 40,000 or 50,000. You know.
This is the worst spot Benjamin has been in the Premier League.
Yeah, pretty unlucky to happen this early. I mean, Daniel's been running so good, but you know what? He played this hand to win the maximum, and
Check.
he made a good check. Let's see what Daniel bets here.
If Benjamin check folds here, you got to say it's legendary, right?
I got to say it's, well, I mean, if Daniel moves in, then Benjamin can get away because, you know. But if Daniel bets 50, 60, 80, 100,000, especially 50, 60,000 and David gets away, you have to say, wow, great fold. How much? 50?
85,000.
That's big. He's going for it.
He's given Benjamin a chance to get away from the hand with that bet. I think if he would have bet 50,000, David would have just had to say, all right, I call. He's given him a chance to get away. I don't know if David can take that door.
And at this stage, Benjamin knows he can't beat a value bet. So all of a sudden, it's either a bluff or a hand. Is that right?
Daniel did not bet 85,000 with King Jack. David knows that. Wow, he called it. Wow. See, Luke guessed 8-9 suited.
Benjamin called. He was curious, and he is now gone.
A little bit. It's call.
Shorter
call.
stacked.
You know, I'm a check call, but I can't check call because when I'm in position.
Wow.
He re-raised.
He fooled Benjamin.
What?
He did.
He max valued him.
He did, yeah, he max valued him. I mean, it was a very lucky hand for Daniel, very lucky hand for Daniel, but he also played it flawlessly.
Love to know what the key was for him, but he sized everything perfectly and gave off all the right signals. Look at that, 418.
I know it's silly to think this way, but I actually was slightly worried.
Big step backward for David Benjamin, down to 231,000. This final table will continue after the break.
No idea what in the world's going on here.
This guy's like ready to blow.
Such a donk you are.
Welcome back to the final table of Premier League Poker 4. It's only been 12 hands, but you can see, looking at those chip stacks, the big mover is Negreanu. Benjamin the step backwards, but it will be anyone's game. Schwartz stacking up a top there.
No.
Re-raised 21,000.
Locks open this for 3 times the big blind, and the re-raise from DeWolf with nothing.
Well, I can tell you this much.
You
the
said
lock is not folding.
You said Roland didn't do enough bluffing, and
I said that, and but he also has to time his bluffs. I mean,
but I mean, in Locke's mind, DeWolf's range right now is
Without-
tens aren't the best hand in the world.
well, without knowing anything about this hand, Roland made kind of a nice move, right? Without knowing anything about, but if Roland was able to read Phil Lock, he would have read strength and just folded. Now let's see if Roland can blast his way through, which he's totally capable of doing.
It's amazing here. I mean, it's like Benjamin and DeWolf have both come in saying, we know Locke and Negreanu are going to be loose openers. We're going to 3-bet blast them. And here comes Locke with the tens. This is tough. He's folding.
Wow. So I did tell Roland he needs to step it up if he wants to win, and he did step it up.
Phil Locke laying it down, and DeWolf master blaster with the Jack Deuce.
That's him.
You know, if you were going to establish a tight image, I mean, and then show up and go completely wild in the Premier League final, I mean, Roland DeWolf has done pretty well.
Well, yeah, I give him credit for that move. Now, the problem is that all the players at the break are going to run over and say, what did Roland raise with, right? And the break's coming, what, in an hour? So when Phil Locke sees that, he's going to be like, wow.
Yeah, you're right. But that's one of the things that also makes poker great. The adjustments, the readjustments.
Absolutely.
He's just a little boy.
Just a little boy. Cool.
Yeah, Safina's not going to be delighted about having Luke Schwartz on his left. They've had some run-ins, and he'd rather have position on full flush. He's been shadowing him throughout this Premier League.
Wow. Okay, Roland is now drawing dead this hand. I don't think he'll lose much in the hand, though.
It was a loose call he made on the flop, so...
He just got away with a bluff, so he's feeling good, like I'm controlling the table. fired out one more time. His timing on this bet's not so good. Let's see if Safina can just call him here.
It's personal. When you bet against him, it's personal. It's not personal. No, it is to him, trust me. You're not in the hand, kid.
Yeah, Luke should really shut up. He might bust Roland talking about all this emotional, personal stuff.
You talk every 2 seconds.
Not when two people are playing. About their hand.
What are you doing right now? No kidding.
Trying to defend against etiquette travesty.
And Safina taking his time here.
I accept.
Does it look like to the guys that he's got a strong hand, or is he? If he raises now, they'll know he's got a strong hand.
Yeah.
Call would be so cool.
Re-raise.
Maybe.
56,000.
Maybe it didn't matter.
Yeah, maybe it didn't matter.
Or 55,000. I'm sorry.
Roland got caught with his hand in the cookie jar.
No more cookies for you. Wow, is he? Is this all a wind up, or is there some sort of value to that Jack of Hearts?
Well, Roland, look, I just think 95% of the time he's just going to fold, but he could get himself in trouble making some crazy re-raise against the qualifier.
Yeah, so afraid because the money was getting
oh my gosh.
So he showed the ace high flush and says, "You want a shot?"
And if he does make this,
that was 4 years ago.
it'd be so silly.
The ace high flush guy was scared. Oh, I see.
About the straight flush.
He didn't know the other guy.
He is gonna fold. What do you show? 5 of hearts, perhaps.
That was right around the time where the
Giovanni Safina now has taken 2.
So Roland made 2 bluffs. One worked, one didn't. He's right back to level.
Stu Unger and Ken Flayton, who passed away.
No.
This is kind of sick, but like Stu Unger had this habit instead of like on the river if you bet.
Oh right, yeah.
I told you this?
No, but I read about it. Or heard
if
about
he
it.
bets, like he bet, and if you call him, he just would muck his hand. He didn't want to show, right? So Ken Flayton was in the stud pot with him. They're playing heads up. Okay.
Yep.
Guys are talking about the mucks out of turn.
Yeah, just pause that.
Yeah.
And locked, I think, with the min raise.
Re-raise. 16,000.
Wow. And they're going to make it tough on Phil. You know,
and Stu has.
And I think Daniel too.
Right?
At final tables, they're not going to allow this sort of stuff, are they?
No. Roland has been paying attention, and he knows that Phil Lock is raising all kinds of pots. So if Roland was actually trying to read Phil Lock, he made a horrible read because he had 2 10s.
Yeah, right. First time.
It already feels like that idea, Phil, where, final tables or where champions have to step it up and be made, right? You're not going to, nobody's going to say,
And you weren't rewarded.
Take it.
Yeah, I know it wasn't.
Forget moving up the ladder. There's only 1 trophy.
I was so sick that Queen High call against me, and then I like.
Fold.
He limped in, right?
5.
So you raised?
And it is a relatively big final table. There's $900,000 in prize money being dished out here. That's, it's pretty serious.
Such a long ban for the tournament.
Cool.
Are you banned from all these routines?
Of course not.
They said that on somewhere.
So Locke's called this Queen 5 out of the big blind.
And flopped the best hand.
Turned into a very good call.
Now, of course, he flopped the hand. He has to check. See, he checked. I mean, he hit something. Wow, trips he flopped. Wow, I didn't even see that.
That's 9,000. Fold.
Destroyed this flop.
Of course, he has to just call.
They've played a lot of flops together, Benjamin and Locke. Not only did they meet, I think, several times in the matches, maybe 3 times, but they always seem to be deep against each other. These guys have played some hands. If Benjamin calls here, you just have to say there's something wrong with his, I don't know, his inner clock tonight, right?
Wow. Yeah, he's He's basically drawing dead here.
And I mean,
he's running hard.
He's thinking that Locke has got a draw or float. I mean,
Yep. And well, Dave's now drawing live.
but I mean, at this stage, he can't. You know, you're not folding the nut flush draw right now, are you?
I mean, if he makes any kind of raise, Phil Locke's just going to move right in on him.
He's counting his stack. He's got 198,000. 105 in the pot. And it's just weird because obviously if the heart comes, is he getting paid any money at all?
Yeah, he doesn't want the queen of hearts to come, I'll tell you that.
Nope.
He doesn't want an ace.
Nope.
It was a little unlucky the nine of hearts did come for him there.
I was just thinking Phil Locke had to be slightly worried about his hand there. I mean, you're not getting paid off that often. A lot of times the guy's showing up with a hand that beats you there, right? Straight, flush.
Absolutely. Now David might be thinking in his mind that Phil Locke has a 6, and can I move him off of a 6? Because he has a perfectly good hand to show down ace high. And he's thinking, can I get away with a bluff? And if so, how much do I have to bluff?
I wonder. I mean, I wonder if he can get Phil Locke off 3 5s. If Benjamin makes a massive bet here, how do you like your 3 5s, Phil?
I think Phil Locke is going to snap call him. I mean, he's going to call him very quickly within 15 seconds.
He folded! He snap folded! Phil, he snap folded!
Not good. Good laydown.
10 of clubs? Dun, dun, dun.
He folded 3 5s?
And Benjamin showed it!
That quickly?
Pocket 10? Yeah, ace 10 with the pocket 10.
He showed the 10 of clubs. He showed the 10 of clubs.
Yeah, ace of hearts, 10 of clubs, for sure.
And Phil Locke, that hurts. How tall does he feel right now? Phil, you're stunned.
I'm stunned.
Oh, Philly boy. When are you going to learn how to play poker?
Oh my God!
Yeah,
I mean,
hearts, 10 of clubs, I did.
That's what it looks like.
Pwned. He pwned him.
It's starting to look
that's
more like that.
amazing. I'm still in shock.
Did I need a bet? I wasn't sure. I thought I had a chance to shake it down. I went.
Unbelievable! And Phil Locke, again, the mistake he consistently makes to me is he's not studying long enough. I mean,
wow, he didn't just fold, he snap folded.
He folded so quickly. David Benjamin's going to be in shock. He would never in a million years have attempted to bluff if he knew he had 3
Wow.
5s.
Well, I don't know. I mean, Locke just didn't expect him to be calling with nothing on the flop. It was like a reverse float. It was weird.
Too capable of checking behind me.
That's 8,000.
My God! And how is David Benjamin is back in the Premier League?
He was out, man. I'm telling you, David Benjamin was out. That was some kind of crazy play he got away with.
What has he got? Has he just got that I don't know, that aura around him? Where, you know, he's like that mind meld thing. He gets you to do
26,000.
what you want him, what he wants you to.
That was just sick. I don't know what, you know.
Wow. And, you know, Phil Locke right now, Phil, is like second in chips, but his mind must be
Oh, and look
mush
at this hand.
potato.
Daniel just called $26,000 drawing dead to an 8.
Has he really?
Oh my God, Benjamin! Wow, what are you doing to them?
Oh no!
Oh, this is so perfect for David Benjamin.
I'm scared for Daniel now.
Now David Benjamin needs to bet 62,000 or something, and Daniel's going to call him with ace high.
Why do I get involved in every putt? I wonder.
You think you're playing Omaha?
I don't know. There's something else about me today.
Maybe you got somewhere to be.
The way he played the ace-10 hand, he had somewhere
I haven't
to be.
read my last text messages.
He hasn't made a bet yet. He's trying to put Daniel on a hand right now.
46,000.
Daniel hates this. And I don't know, but I just get the
Hard
feeling.
to give you credit for that card.
I just get the feeling he.
You name a few hands and we'll just edit it. We'll edit it in at the right time.
I can't think of the hand that I can beat, but let me think.
Yeah,
46,
Daniel's right. I mean, he can't think of a hand he could beat, but I mean, it's a real tough spot because if David Benjamin's not betting 2 8s or 2 9s
Okay,
here, I don't think so.
Let's see.
He has a 6, a 7, or nothing.
It's just very difficult for me to give you credit for 7.
How about straight?
Huh?
How about straight?
Well, who cares if you have a straight? I don't care if you have a straight. I care if you have a 7.
Oh, you have 6?
Maybe, maybe
Oh,
not.
5, so it makes sense now. You said you can't beat anything, and suddenly he wakes up with a 6. That's funny.
I didn't say I can't beat anything.
You said I don't see what I can beat.
No idea what in the world's going on here. 46,000. Fired flop, fired turn, and 7, no problem. Let's fire again. 46,000. Why not? Let's just do it. That's what he says.
Daniel just hates being bluffed. He just hates being bluffed.
You do that
He
with
hates
like
being
a
bluffed.
6?
Yeah, he
I guess
hates
he'd bet a 6 on the river, for sure. You got me curious, my friend.
You're a curious guy.
I am.
He can afford it in this scheme of things.
I can afford it now. I got all this pretty chips over here.
Make the lay down, Daniel. Make the lay down.
No, I don't know.
Ah, take it.
Wow.
That's good.
Luke pipes
I'll
up.
get a 7.
Obviously.
The very emotional Luke said, of course he had it.
Tell him, Schwartz.
Oh, I did not have 10.
I'm trying to lose them all, I just don't manage. I try to make my friend Phil win a big pot. He just... I would have chopped that pot if I played it. You would have chopped it? Yeah, I had a 6. Oh, this one. Somebody, just explode. What's the pressure?
You love a blow up as well.
I love watching the blow-ups.
I love having
I just feel like if somebody else, if it's like a watermelon and we're all 6 seeds, once that first seed pops out, I feel like I can relax.
I don't understand. What's your pressure? You scared to win? He's scared to win. Are you?
I'm definitely not. No, how would I be scared of winning? That's like what I try to do.
Raise to 4,000.
Talking about pressure, I thought that's the
Well,
one.
I'm scared of getting bluffed off of hands that I should call. That's what I'm scared of. And the less of you that are here, the less likely that it can happen.
And Locke's keeping up his stuff. I mean, you know, he min raised the last hand. He's min raised this hand.
I thought you had
the medicine for that.
I don't know. I mean, nobody re-raised him this time.
Daniel
But
has the medicine to getting bluffed.
Oh, you had maybe you had a 5?
I never get bluffed.
I would have folded
that way.
probably.
If you always call, you can never get bluffed.
That's 12,000.
Schwartz is let out at this from the big blind.
Can
give him
Locke
credit
hold
for
the
his
winner
king?
again?
No.
No.
You started folding a lot.
No, he can't.
No, but he can do it after donating 12,000 more, Phil. You know what I mean?
Have you been watching?
Why would you want to lose 4 when you can lose 16?
You taught me how to fold.
I just needled you.
Now Luke picked up an open
needled
end
me and
straight,
started
so
to lay down hands.
he's like, that's a signal to bet it.
27,000.
I mean, Locke's going to have to think about this. You know, it's the level. Would Schwartz ever do this with a king? And it so
Called
much
him
looks
quickly.
like he wouldn't do it with a king that is it.
Wow. Let's see if Luke can pull off the bluff here on the river. Oh, and he hit an ace on him.
Just spike the ace.
Oh my God!
Just
and
spike the
checked an
ace.
ace. Are you serious?
Ace. Ace what? 7. I think you're gonna win.
That hurts.
You got ace high, ace 2 of clubs or some shit. That hurts.
What would have happened on the river, we'll never know, Phil.
I can't believe Luke didn't bet something there, you know? I mean, like, you know, 15,000, 20,000, something like that, you know? I mean,
It looked like it for a second.
so I mean, Luke puts in like $40,000 bluffing, and then when he hits the ace, he checks.
What are you doing?
He hit the miracle ace and checked it.
I don't get it either, but 21 hands makes a level, Phil, and they're all playing the game. Who's playing the game the best? I mean, look at these V percentages. Luke Schwartz, the tightest, Benjamin over 57%. Madness.
This final is just warming up. There's plenty more needle to come as the players battle it out for the top prize. We will be back after the break.
I'm going back to squeezing, because I know when I'm a nit, it hurts rolling. I'm here to hurt rolling. Did that hurt you when I just folded for like 3 checkers? That hurt, right?
I should have got a Phil Rack as a nit. Do not pay him off t-shirt.
Welcome back to the final table for the Party Poker Premier League Poker 4. There's $400,000 up for grabs for the winner, plus the prestige of taking down a Premier League title. Now over to your commentators, 11-time World Series of Poker bracelet winner Phil Hellmuth and Jesse May.
It's good, isn't it?
Phil Hellmuth and myself looking on the blinds going up now. 2 and 4,000. David Benjamin, he regrouped and he attacked. Now back in business.
I was thinking good at it. It's like an 8. Then I figured if I should have raised the river, he would have fucking folded for sure.
Call. Just a call.
I took too long.
Good spot for DeWolf. And Benjamin making a habit of running into aces. Yeah. Now, DeWolf's 3-bet. He's 3-bet Benjamin once. He's 3-bet Lock twice. And no one has ever called his 3-bet.
Wow, that's a huge raise. 20.
It is.
It's like he's afraid of Benjamin. You shouldn't be afraid of him.
Or
I could have just thought about it and just made it 146.
Wow, and Benjamin, he got him to call. Wow.
Maybe it was the strong means weak thing. Over raise will never be the aces. It'll be hard for Roland to get any more action here.
Yeah, but Roland has to, you know, if he knew David had Queen Jack of Spades, he'd check all night long, but he has to bet it in case Benjamin has a diamond.
Right.
Bet 35. Whoops. Let me check. I didn't see it, but...
You folded, right?
Go ahead. You got it. All black?
I was giving him a little tester. I don't know about that.
You can look, but no one else can.
Apparently he said it to roll.
I'm not interested.
I'm not that curious.
I would have flopped the flush, Roland. I would have flopped the flush. Then 3 diamonds.
You get it in then.
Is that enough to be in?
And 3 diamonds. He made it 20. If you made it 19 or 18, I would have called.
I'm talking on the flop. Would you be all in?
Oh, I would have gambled. Yeah, I would have took a shot.
You're not scared? Don't want to see the turn?
No, I'm okay.
It's funny, Phil. It's like you talked about this. Not just these are great poker players. So the things that would look really weird at a normal table, they take on different meaning here. Like Roland making that big over 3-bet, right? It was like a level on a level kind of thing.
Yeah.
It looked. I don't know.
No, you're right. And here you go, Roland making it 15 this time. So,
what's up with that? That's like nearly 4 times the big blind.
Oh, Safina folded a pair of 4s. That's interesting.
So you do bluffing spots where you're not repping anything?
And Benjamin with 10 Jack suited. I mean, he's, you know.
Where you just can't have anything and bets anyway.
Maybe it's also, Benjamin's limp there, and DeWolf just... Benjamin calls so often, the raises, you got to make them big. Is that the idea?
Yeah, Benjamin's going to be, he can't win the spot.
Okay, I check.
Check. Jack 10.
Ace high.
Ace is good.
Got it.
You had a royal flush shot.
He had 2, I had 1.
System works.
Big blind roll.
Not all of them.
3. Wow, I've gotten way more. 360.
Fold.
Wow.
I'm back on.
Go back.
Back. And I just gave you 30.
I know.
5.
Raise 14,000.
Luke, with the hooks, I mean...
So sick, Daniel just
Call.
thinks like, sees you raise, you haven't...
Daniel has Luke completely dominated
sorry, it's
here.
not the hooks, just Jack 6.
Jack 6 versus... Everybody has a 6.
I kind of thought Luke did have a big hand because...
Let's see if Benjamin can pull like some kind of...
It's felt like
Call.
Luke's played slightly tight, but maybe he's just...
To the what? To the river?
He's committed to the hand.
taking his time and then... I don't know, felt like the time was right, but everyone seems to have picked up on it.
That King 4 clubs has been quite a few people's downfall, especially JC Tran.
It's popped up a lot in this Premier League.
The King 4 suited took down JC Tran. Roland decided just to get away from it immediately.
Well, Benjamin.
Take the pot, David Benjamin.
Is involved.
Check.
You were at the table, Phil, when there was that big huff puff between Schwartz and Benjamin. And what'd you make of all that? Are these guys going to go at each other?
He's an angle shooter, mate.
An angler.
An angler. Daniel has the right idea. Wow, Daniel called 26,000 with nothing.
And that's a weird float with Benjamin behind you, isn't it?
Wow, what a weird float.
I mean, should David think about raising, or is it just because we can see the cards?
Daniel has a read on Luke. He's 100% right, but he still has to, you know. And Benjamin is going to at least call here. I mean, Benjamin has to figure out where they stand. If Benjamin can figure this out, he can raise it, and he's just going to win it. So can he find the heart and commitment to raise it? No, he just decided, I'll just call.
This is a weird pot. I mean, this pot is way too big for what everybody has.
And now Daniel's upset because he made the great pick-off on Schwartz.
Check.
No way.
He made the great pickup on Schwartz, but he then ran into Benjamin behind.
Oh my gosh.
That is 70,000.
That's a big bet.
Boom.
How could you bet like that into two people with nothing, Phil?
Crazy,
Like, I don't care. Like, look at that. I know the boards, yeah? Whatever.
David cost me that
one. Whatever.
Jack high, huh, Bubblegum?
Come on, Phil. That's pretty strong.
Yeah, it's strong. It's strong, but the reason I've held back on saying anything in the commentary, that was a really good play he made, right? But they rotate, but when you watch someone, you know, make all these crazy bluffs and they just keep working, you have to give him credit. So therefore we give him credit. But if he just bluffs off all of his money and ends up finishing 6th, then you're gonna have to say, wow.
Did you hear what he said? He said he tried to float me for 27,000. He said
Daniel did try to float him. Yeah.
That doesn't make it any less of an O.
Wow, the kids got some mouth, Phil.
Call.
I don't understand what happened though. How can you bet 70,000 there?
I mean, he put them both on a draw.
Daniel on a float. He put.
He thought maybe. I mean, he thought in his mind maybe Daniel called with 3s or 4s, or maybe a 5, and that he could blow Daniel off the hand, and hoping that Benjamin had a draw that he couldn't call with.
Wow. I'm stunned. And Luke's left the table now. He's gone. I think he's gone to tell everybody he knows what he just did. I owned him, didn't I?
No, he showed the hand.
I knew you had something, so that kind of got me out of the pot, but I called him.
Oh, I could have taken it.
Heads up.
Huh?
I could definitely have taken it.
Wow, this thing is shaping up.
Give me a white.
Check. Check.
Oh, it's fun. I mean, it's fun, right? Now, Roland, what does he need? He needs a 5, an ace, or a deuce. Bam! Hit a deuce right in the straight. Right in the straight vicinity.
Yeah, and he's been waiting to put a little paint onto Safina. He has to go max value here, right?
No.
Bet 18,000.
Fold. Safina makes a good fold on the river.
I don't know what
Roland.
to make of. I don't know what to make of Luke yet. You know, I don't know what to make of him. I know he's done a lot of stuff well. He certainly has a lot of guts.
Anyway.
You know.
You and the rest of the poker world, Phil.
And I could have Queen 8, obviously. As much as you.
And we're waiting to see who will be the new Premier League champion. There is no former Premier League champions at this table. That's exciting.
Yeah, but you have to realize that it was so unlikely someone.
Possibility of a guy like Roland DeWolf, who's been at it now.
That's why you had to bet that.
4 chances.
Well, I'll just check call.
And Safino's been playing so well. What a big spot it is for him. Taking on these lights of the world.
It's so sick that we could have had Doyle in the Premier League.
Blind on blind now.
Blowing his money away. Winning every heat. And then
Two compatriots, Negreanu and Locke. And the raise up to 12.
Doyle pulled up.
was the first person who was meant to be.
He was the first choice. Let's not go through all the other choices because we don't have enough time, but Phil was one of the later choices.
Roland is teasing the big blind, but we're flopwards here.
Wow, and they both hit a 7, so, you know.
This pot already 24,000.
Check.
7 would be disastrous.
That may have saved Phil some money.
Bet 18,000.
I think your biorhythms are like
We're
way
so jambled right now, it's ridiculous.
I was hoping he had an ace.
Did you hear Roland said his biorhythms are off? He said, Phil Locke, your biorhythms are so off.
And the funny thing is, Phil Locke knows exactly where his biorhythm. I mean, if you want to make a bet, that is one thing Phil Locke knows. He knows where his biorhythm is at. I mean, if there's a guy in the poker world that knows about his biorhythm.
Look at this guy whining when he went jogging for half an hour, showed up on the button and just had aces against ace deuce in the big blind in a spot where he can't call unless he has exactly aces. Must be nice. How's that?
He needs to find someone with ace deuce who's willing to spew.
Yeah, spew.
Someone who could have gone to 40k, 3-bet him into 40k,
Yeah,
but he went all in instead.
That's true.
His own mistake.
That's true. I was just being goofy because I'm like, you're folding anyway. What's the difference?
just like everything.
Raised to 12,000.
Wow, now they're needling Daniel.
What'd you call there with?
Aces and kings.
Yeah.
The young London boys are ganging up on Daniel.
They sure are.
Daniel's heard it before.
Well, that's when I got busted from the Premier League by Tony G. I had kings, I just knew that, you know, that was my year. It's so nice, they like add 300k, qualifying online, and have Tony G in it.
That's it.
And Helmut.
And Helmut.
No, I'm joking.
You can't say anything because he's in the booth.
I'm sorry, Phil.
You're not.
Check.
Deca millions.
Game's started to enter the
Bet 12,000.
Not a lull, but it's like everyone is trying to readjust
Might be
Phil to,
Giovanni for the win. That's how sick it is.
you know, that everybody has come out of here with a different game plan. You know what I mean? It's like, I thought this about that guy, this about that guy. None of it is true.
And he doesn't know
Yeah,
what you
you know, I mean, this is a lesson we learn every single year. Everybody kind of changes their game in the final a little bit, you know.
I remember the 2-6 little boy.
The 2-6 little boy.
You remember that now?
This guy's a lawyer, so be careful. Especially you, Luke, he could have you like banged up.
For what?
Raised to 14,000.
Butchering the English language.
Here comes Schwartz with the real hand. Car crash.
10 more?
Yes, 10. Call.
Well, there you go. Roland just called him.
Heads up.
I like the way he started the hand.
Roland amazingly managed not to go broke with the kings against the aces. You said it was standard. You said it was obvious, but still.
It was pretty standard in that heat, in that spot. But
And you were talking about the thing to do, slow play Schwartz, let him just bet you to death, right? Is that what DeWolf should be doing here? Check call,
yeah, he should
check
probably
call.
check here.
Check. Bet 18,000.
He's already played
45.
this hand
Raised
pretty.
to 45,000.
Such a donk you are.
Got to make the good laydowns as well as the good calls if you're a great player, right? You can't just bluff everything.
Not like I have a shit hand or anything, but let you and me off this one time.
Ah, backdoor flush?
Jacks.
And DeWolf takes the pot.
I knew you. Your little pause, you weren't folding.
Well, talk about a horse race. Look how tight it is now. The leaders have fallen into the pack. The short stacks have climbed. And between Schwartz at the top and Negrano on the bottom, there's barely a few thousand. All these finalists have the passion to win, but who will be champion?
Winning it at my fourth time of asking, it will cement my place in Premier League history because I've contributed a lot, but until you actually win one, then you're not a champion.
When I come into something like this, I feel like one of the favorites, because I feel like I understand the format just as well as anybody, and I'm driven. You know, I have plans on having a really big year, and you know, winning the Premier League would definitely be a feather in the cap.
My family was skeptical, but after seeing my results, now they all cheer for me. They dance and sing, and follow the blog as if I were playing football to the Italian national side.
Of course, it's always a great feeling to win, and I can't wait for that feeling again.
Winning poker tournaments, it's like euphoric. If I can get to that moment again, that would be phenomenal. I would love it.
I definitely think I'm one of the strong favourites. I think you should put your money on me. I think it's all about me.
Join us for more final table action after the break. Welcome back. Final table action and 33 hands. Luke Schwartz on top, but
So they're filming this show
so
for 48
close.
48-hour
Any
cash game.
of the six could be Premier
It's like a
League
2-day cash
champion,
game.
and
We're filming in London.
there's even
like from start
Giovanni
to end.
Safina
David's like, I don't
taking
wanna
on
know when to
11
hit
of the
and run.
best in the world.
You don't want to be hit and run.
No. Fold. They vote people up every 2 hours. The people at the table, everyone makes a vote. Who's to go? Call.
Is that true?
Yeah.
What show is that?
Roland's got the game. I mean, he's got, you know, he's won an EPT. He's a Triple Crown winner, right? The guy can get in there and mix it up.
I would like to have seen. I don't know why Roland didn't race this. I mean, he's got Luke on his left, who might not believe him. You know.
I don't understand it, Phil.
Kind of crazy.
How are you at the giving action? Well, I'm gonna do my first 2 hours and then that'll be it. You know?
Bet 11,000.
Should DeWolf believe this?
DeWolf's calling 11 for sure, but
I like to give action when I have
unless
like
Daniel gets involved.
Wow.
Here comes Daniel.
It has gotten so personal, Phil. Daniel is determined to just float and raise Luke.
Is that your style?
Wow, he floated him. I mean, raised it. Wow.
I let you own me.
Yeah, just one hand I get towing you, right?
Fold.
Small pot.
Yeah.
What did you have?
He had ace.
You have,
How long in the small pot and in the big ones?
He had 4 or 5 of diamonds or something.
Some stupid hand like that.
Got shot with a backdoor flush draw.
Daniel pulled off a little bluff there.
Yeah, he certainly did. Playing the game, the game.
Well, he figured Luke probably isn't leading out with 3 6s. So let me get the raise in.
You know what? This is what Daniel always says. He's going to have to step it up. This guy wants to do this. I'm going to fight harder. And DeWolf, if Roland was really zoned in, right, he would have made the absolute sickness 3-bet, right?
Well, yeah, it's pretty hard to do. But yeah, you're right. I mean, you're right. I mean, I did that to Daniel yesterday in our heat. Someone bet, he raised. I just made it 50,000. Boom, boom, boom.
Great players, Phil. We're watching great players. We got to expect greatness.
Yeah.
Call.
Luke versus Daniel again. This time Daniel has him just dummied.
So Luke from the button. Negrano small blind and lock in the big.
3 plays.
I mean, you know, this could be danger for. I mean, Luke just does not want it to come king high here. I mean, that could be trouble for him.
Unless it's 3 spades and he's got the king of spades. This is a tough sort of bet. I mean, if Luke bets here, then he can get jammed out of the pot, right?
Wow, he checked the nut spade draw there.
Check. Check.
Is it time for him to start betting? Is it
20,000.
What's the idea here? That he could have an ace right now and have checked the flop?
Daniel's calling him.
Yeah,
I think. Daniel's like, all right, king jack's probably good, but If it isn't good, I have a straight and a flush draw. Now, spade would be horrible for Daniel here.
Right.
Especially like the queen of spades would be horrible.
And I wonder what's going to happen on the river if it comes to deuce of clubs.
10 of spades? Wow, this kid's been Schwartz. Wow, what a lucky card for him. Now he can bet like 80,000 and Daniel has to call.
How can Daniel pass here? Doesn't look like the king or queen of spades, does it? He can't ever fold.
Daniel
here,
checked just in case Luke had the queen of spades.
Well, if there's one thing that's going to save Daniel, it's his read. Look he's watching Luke. He's watching everything.
Yeah.
Can he get a read of strength off this guy?
Well, he's read him for being weak a couple times.
I feel like I've been owned this hand. I'm going to bow to him at the end of it and just say, here, you did well, my boy. The little boy did good this time. I think he just earned himself an extra 50,000 off of me. Could he value bet worse than I have?
Daniel was not outplayed here. I mean, Luke got lucky and
I had you beat for the river.
Should have overbet.
Overbet?
Hard for you to put me on the king
Wrong
of spades.
10, huh?
Hard for you to put me on the king of spades.
Yeah, I'm not folding it.
I could have bet 100.
Yep.
But I don't even know if he had a spade.
really cool card came on the river. I mean, the cooler 10 of spades. Oh, ugh, that's an icy card.
But Schwartz, full flush. He's picking it up.
It's a very lucky
Chip
spade
leader.
for him. I mean, unless he was going to bluff anyway on the river. But Daniel might have led into him. Who knows what would happen to him? I know this. He got lucky to hit it.
Raise 12,000.
Roland's raised this one up 12K.
Call.
And
Fold.
same hand for Giovanni.
Fold.
Benjamin's playing the ducks, I'll tell you that much.
And call. 3 players.
Love the way Benjamin's playing. You love the way DeWolf is playing, the Granu, and full flush.
Still
That
mine.
is 13,000.
Still mine.
Fold.
Benjamin's like never folding here, is he?
Yeah, he's going to fold.
Wow.
He's going to fold because Roland raised under the gun and followed through. You know, no one knows how much Roland's bluffing because he didn't bluff much in the first few heats. So he's able to get away with playing fast until the break, until they go running out to check their computers and say, wow.
He better know that. I mean, the thing about Roland is he's actually smarter than he looks. I mean, he could not be smarter than he looks. I mean, everyone knows that. But he's clever. He's a clever guy, right?
Raise 14,000.
This could be trouble. I mean, Schwartz has been raised and he's got the queens here.
Call.
Oh my God. Benjamin folded the ace queen. How strong is that?
Wow, he folded ace queen.
Check. Check.
It's a good flop for Roland. I mean, he.
25.
Well, now he's bet in the. He's bet in the dark here. Roland's bet in the dark before the turn comes. When check on the flop.
I'm waiting on you.
Well, Schwartz is never folding, right? He's checked.
25.
He's called in the dark.
Call in dark before the card came. You don't see that very often.
So we're going to see the river bet.
All right, action's complete on the turn. 25 and a call.
That's weird. Here's the river.
So Roland's going to check here, and I wouldn't be surprised if Luke bets 25,000 or something here. You know, he has to bet it if Roland checks.
Check.
Guess he won't call since all this check in the dark shit.
Queen.
He didn't bet it. He's just thinking he's not going to get paid off by a worse hand, or
Well, I
This is a
mean,
missed
look,
value bet.
Roland is not going to, you know, he would have bet a king. We all know Roland would have bet a king, so
Right.
to me it was a bad check with queens. I would have to bet something. Would he get called? Maybe not, but maybe maybe Roland puts him on ace-8 and calls 20,000.
Obviously, we're still six-handed. You didn't expect anybody to go out early, Phil, because it's final table, and you know it could have been a cooler. But you know, what has happened here? There's been a lot of real tone set. I mean, you know, Benjamin has lost about 80,000.
Why are you angling, man?
I think he's played so well.
He's angling, you're angling his big blind.
What is angling?
It's like fishing.
Fold, fold, and call.
It's the most popular sport in the country.
Well, I mean, David Benjamin, you know, has played pretty good. I mean, but I think he was very lucky with the ace-10 hand.
Right.
I mean, he would have been short on chips.
Yeah.
basically
Oh,
out,
right,
so.
you are. Right, you are.
Everyone destroys. Actually, the nice
Big
thing is that
flop for Schwartz. Straight flush draw.
Everybody does, except me.
No, I know.
Oh, Daniel and I are the only
David getting away from getting lost on the flop.
Go with it, go with it, kid. The people on TV don't know that.
22,000.
And David's going to call him.
I thought I was
David's he's found a lot of ways to win this pot all of a sudden, hasn't he? If he bets the flop, he's done, right?
Right.
Call.
Now Luke has to know he's going to get called, so.
Luke should know he's getting called most of the time on the river?
Yeah, if a blank comes.
This is Benjamin's chance to take him off a pot.
34,000.
I'm sure David's going to call him here. David can't treat this like playing in a high-limit side game where everybody always has the hands, or where you're trying to save a little bit on the end. He has to, you know, he has to think that, you know, Luke is a little bit crazy, and he called him.
Call.
Is it like this? Once you touch the chips, it's a call. Once you lay out the call, you're never gonna fold, were you?
You asking me if I put one chip in means that call?
No, I mean saying once you put 34 in your hand and you think about it, there's no thinking. It's just
haven't
call.
got them yet.
But yeah, you win.
Oh, you're learning next step.
Good call, he says, and that's the first step backward for Schwartz. You kind of think he should have known that call was always coming,
still
Phil.
thinking about raising.
If you had raised on the river, I was all in.
I know.
In it.
It's easier to say, right?
No, it was easy. You weren't roughing anything. I'm all in. It's simple.
You say?
Lucky you hit the blank.
I can only tell you one thing. I have some very good trap coming up for you.
Yeah?
If I can last long enough.
I don't think you'll last it.
Huh?
I don't think you'll last it.
Yeah, well, of course, then if I can.
Now, I like what
then
David's
I'll have
telling
some very
him,
good
and
ones
it's the
for you.
truth.
Fold.
I've got some nice traps coming for you, is what he said.
Fold.
And I believe that. I believe that he will. If David plays to trap him, he will trap him.
I believe both of them. I can't wait.
Eventually they will.
I'm not going anywhere.
Raise. 33,000.
You know, it's 1-1 now.
See what Daniel does here.
Really? Tell me about that. What is it? What level is Daniel on here?
Schwartz, it looks like he might be tilting. He gave it up, Daniel did. But if Daniel didn't think he could call, he could pull the trigger there. Now Roland has a tough decision.
Tilted up. This is a tilted up re-raise.
Not giving any answer. He's not giving any answer.
Yeah, Roland had to lay it down, but if he moved in, he probably would have won.
So light in.
Don't want to call out the small blind. I'm not Benjamin. I don't just call 15k out of the small blind. I've got a raise.
Do you have a pair or nothing?
I'm a caller, buddy.
350.
Yeah, you're a caller.
Do you have a pair or a pair?
I didn't have a pair, and I didn't have a
Ace high.
good ace side.
Me too.
Better than you probably.
You had what? You had what?
God, they're going to find out in 5 minutes anyway.
Yeah.
Can it, boys? Stop the lie.
Sneaky,
Play the game. This is one of the first tournaments that there's been blogging, live blogging on the internet. And how much would he like free bet now?
Roland with 2 kings.
Don't bluff me.
Oh, and he's got Safina to call with 10-9 offsuit. Ugh. Ugh.
If anything's missed, I snap.
Wow.
If I touch my chips, I'm calling.
What a great position for Roland here.
Heads up. Shut.
And
a lucky flop for Safina where he just doesn't have to go broke. I mean, it could easily have come, you know, 9-4 deuce or something.
And Roland is sort of, I mean, half of this is inducing the bluff, and the other half, wow, just a check fold with the kings.
That's what I'm talking about.
Unbelievable.
Take it down, bro.
Unbelievable. I think Roland played that hand absolutely horribly.
Did he?
Oh my God.
What, like a little, like just a little boy?
I mean, check, let Safina bluff, and then call him. Because Safina's not going to bluff 3 streets at Roland. He's going to bluff 1 street.
They've played 2 levels of this final. Schwartz, the nominal leader right now. Look how he's done it. His stats say tight and aggressive, but plenty of play in these stacks. Even the short stack, Negreanu still in fine shape. As we've come to expect from this Premier League, great play and great table talk.
We have some of the best chat specialists ever. Luke Schwartz and Roland the Wolf and Negreanu love the chat. I love the chat. Funny thing is, everyone knows that Giovanni speaks Italian and not English. So most of us don't do too if we maybe a simple Spanish sentence for Giovanni and to get the idea like vino, or but Bubblegum just talks to him in like crazy, crazy English, crazy fast. And we've told Luke every day he doesn't speak English, and Luke doesn't seem to remember that. So I'm sure Luke will have one-sided conversation with Giovanni. The rest of us will talk amongst ourselves, and Giovanni will smile.
I'm talking about Giovanni.
The cards are back in the air after the break as these big names compete for the Premier League title.
This is brutal, because the more you talk, the more I want to fold.
Look at that, I know the boards, yeah? Whatever.
I have something against nits. I don't know what it is.
Oh, when I saw you grab them, I went like this in my mind. Yum.
Welcome back to the final table of Season 4 of Premier League Poker from the M Resort in Las Vegas. Daniel Negreanu, Luke Schwartz, Roland DeWolf, David Benjamin, Phil Locke, and our online qualifier Giovanni Safina are all in action.
You won that pot, innit? Right, I must have more. I won the big
Bated breath between Phil Hellmuth and myself at the final table as the blinds go up.
Such a child, buddy. Such a child. Yeah, I have more. This is 3 and the rest. Change. 3 and change.
What's Daniel up to right now? I mean, he's not opening a lot of pots, Phil, and that's what he used to. Why not? Why is he changed up?
Well, he really hasn't been. I mean, look at him. What is he down to?
Yeah, 219. It's like 35 big blinds.
Yeah, he's the short stack now, and he's just been a little bit unlucky. He's made a few moves here and there, and
the min raise and Locke calling with the best hand behind. But look at this, the Wolf now, classic squeeze.
I only bet.
Roland DeWolf has been raising and re-raising and playing so fast, and I don't think Daniel could do it, but if Daniel could ship it here, he's going to win. Wow.
Roland! They're going to call him Roland, run him over.
Wait till they see all these hands at the break. My God. And that's one of the things that I miss about the old Premier League is that if I get in the mode where I'm running people over, I don't want them to know. You know, I don't want them to know. But you know what? Look, this is great. Information is now shared. Everybody knows there's all this information out there on the internet. Everybody knows that, you know, there's ways of getting at it. So it's good actually, and it's going to make. I think it helps the great players knowing, you know, the hand histories.
But hell with that thing by Locke, you know, the super tight mode, part of the super tight mode is if you're going to come in, you got to come in aggressive, right? He puts the money with the ace-10, and it was like everybody just knew that he didn't have anything.
Yeah, if he would have raised with ace-10, if he would have raised Daniel, then Roland would have had an easy laydown.
Right.
You know?
Locke wins that pot.
Yeah.
Instead of losing 12,
so
he gains
Roland's
20.
done all that fast play. He's still, you know, not in just a massive chip position or whatever. I mean,
Benjamin raised this and the cold call behind from DeWolf.
That's 26,000.
Cool.
Weird.
Wow, he floated it. Wow. That's
Yeah,
weird.
and so what is this? This trying to make it look like a jack here?
He's trying to make it look like a jack, but I mean, now basically in Benjamin's mind, he might think Roland has ace-6 and he has the best hand.
And Benjamin's a really dangerous guy to float, right? I mean,
a really dangerous guy to mess with.
I mean, Roland, you're messing with the wrong man.
Well, Roland may well get away with it. I mean, everybody, he's just been raising and re-raising and just kind of running everybody over to this point. But
and he may go for a check on the turn, right?
He could now. I mean,
Wow. Wow, this is really out on a limb, Phil, isn't it? Isn't this really out on a limb against Benjamin?
yeah, I mean, he's given David a chance to like pick off, and you know, if David, I don't think David hasn't been reading people perfectly today. This is a chance if he can somehow get involved in this hand, then you think, wow. But I think he's going to fold.
Can he get a read off Roland? Is Roland easy to read? Well, he's gonna give him the long look, make him sweat, stick him in the tank. Pass! DeWolf's the man! Come on! Have you ever seen him play this well?
I've never seen him play this fast, and I mean, he's just completely running everybody over. You got to give him credit. I mean, really. And I think that put him right near the chip lead, that last move.
And you know what? I mean, he's kind of sticking it in Luke's face because, you know, Luke's talking big and showing everything, and Roland is just sitting there. You know, who's the player now? That's what he's saying to Luke.
Yeah, you got to give Roland all kinds of credit.
You know?
Now the thing is, we'll see if he can keep it up after the break.
Getting some momentum over there, Roland.
Yeah, a little bit.
Must be having hands.
I think Luke's kind of chafing a little bit.
You know, Roland may well have left 12, 13 pots. How many hands have we played?
He hasn't had a best hand yet.
How many hands have we played here?
I mean, the only two hands he's picked up are the two kings. He's gotten rid of both of them.
And Daniel then calls him with
Actually,
nothing.
it's not a call I
so-
normally make, but I just felt like it because I'm steaming.
What are you steaming for?
I don't know, I just feel, because I can't see, because you stick forward, I can't see, so I'm steaming. No, it's okay.
So Daniel is just said to himself, but he said to himself, though, Roland is playing too many pots. Is that what he just said?
2.5 minutes.
25,000.
See if Daniel can figure it out. No.
Wow. Daniel, he's asking you the question. Stand up to him. This is the real Roland.
Roland did have the best hand. Yeah, this is not the Roland we've been seeing in the last 4 heats. This is a much better Roland here.
It's kind of like the hustler, isn't it? You know, he's hasn't had to show his game.
Yeah, but when they get to the break, that's just horrible for Roland. Because now he could get all messed up. Because he could pick up.
Not for me.
He may well have to go with a hand that he wouldn't normally go with.
Well, he started with 220, and he's now got 400. So
yeah, he's playing great.
It's good work.
He's playing great. Yeah, I agree. Look up.
But I hear what you're saying.
Raised to 15,000. Fold.
Daniel's sitting on 190, Phil.
I'm telling you, you might move all in here. Sometimes just moving all in, just getting them all in, it makes you feel like you're luckier or something, you know?
Those were the exact two cards that he had against Safina before when I think Safina had the ace-king. And Daniel shipped it and heard the quick call.
Yeah.
Doesn't that kind of make you think?
That feels different this time.
And that re-raise, is he giving himself a chance to get away from it, or is he always calling?
I think basically he's just won the pot for himself. Is what's happened here. So.
It would seem to be really out of character for Safina to stick him in here.
would be really weird if Safina just lost it now.
Yeah.
And just blew up and just gave away the tournament for no reason.
It would be. It hasn't been part of his character. He has been folding these hands at a re-raise. But he hasn't been opening like a ton. I mean, Daniel's a little bit worried, isn't he?
What, no?
Yeah, right. Stones. I had a big hand.
You can't own with the stones.
In poker, I've never missed a blind.
Can I just say, like, if anyone's watching us at home and they're in a pot with Phil Lack in like a cash game, say you go to the commerce and you see him from the TV, if he's putting a lot of money in the pot, he has it. So do not pay this guy off. It's like
That's called killing a man's livelihood, you know? Sure.
That was pretty low down, wasn't it?
Should have got a Phil Lack as a knit. Do not pay him off T-shirt.
That would hurt.
It's like one of my like.
I might get lucky that I might not edit all that stuff in about don't pay me off, you know?
Do not pay. I'll say it every pot.
You say it in every pot. It's gonna be hard for me to get away from it. It's tough.
I just like.
You come in and you just take away a man's living.
I have something against knits. I don't know what it is.
Giovanni's made this 18, and is Daniel going to go to the well twice?
No, I think he's going to call.
Great call, Daniel.
Play fast, guys. Fast. Play fast.
You want a little bit of equity?
No, I just want to hurt him, you know? Actually, he doesn't care. He doesn't care if he misses a hand.
Daniel really doesn't want it to come 10 high here. That would be ugly for him. But there's a lot of flops where Daniel's just going to win the pot because he's going to bluff Safina. Like maybe this one.
Check. Check.
I'm surprised Daniel didn't take a little pop at that.
Well,
now he has an open-ended straight flush draw, Daniel.
Wonder if Safina might bet. Because if he does bet, Daniel's kind of obligated to take it off him, isn't he? Here we go.
It's 32,000.
It's amazing that Safina's actually 68% here, but
yeah,
you don't ever get the money with King 10 right now.
This would be a great place for Safina to go crazy and move in. He'd be so happy, but he has to fold.
Sick turn.
Oh yeah, nines.
No,
Big
yeah,
flush draw.
exactly. When I say sick turn, that's the sickest turn for like 10 jack of spades would be that card, right?
Sick bad turn for you.
Shuffle them up quick.
How bad?
I'm saying, was it a sick bad turn or a sick good turn?
Sick good, yeah.
Yeah, so you have jack 10 of spades.
Yeah.
King 10 of spades.
Jack 10 of spades. I'm like, he shoves, I'm like, let's do it.
No, that's not
really.
Huh? I'm not folding.
You have to.
You're too good, kid. You're
I'm
too
not
good.
folding.
Did you wash your hands?
What's the difference, 6th or 5th?
They're wet. That doesn't prove anything,
50,
actually.
70,000.
That's true, but
I'm short stack anyway.
But it's a good indicator.
I want to tell you right now, Luke, Daniel wasn't folding.
Bad
He's going to call and he's going to gamble.
what till?
There's no in between.
Yeah, but Bayes' theorem says
There's no
that
in
it's-
between.
Right. There is no in between.
Safina kind of
Bayes'
stepped
theorem
out of the
say?
box a little bit,
As
never
more
connected
information
with the
comes in
flop, and
based on
people
what
have been talking
its
about
mental
him,
capacity
sort of,
can
Phil,
make
is that if he doesn't
probabilistically,
connect with the
more accurate
flop, he has
How did that affect
trouble.
this decision?
And if
Well, if your hands are
if
wet,
that
it's
keeps
much more
going like
likely
this,
that
he may.
you wash your hands and then try them versus having a mess.
What are they talking about? The positive equity to washing your hands after you go to the bathroom?
Raised to 38,000.
I'm folding.
Fold.
Would have been a good time for. I'll tell you this much, Jesse. It would have been a great time for Benjamin just to smooth call, because maybe Roland DeWolf would have made another crazy move with Jack 6, and then Benjamin could have swooped in and smacked him.
Yeah, very good call.
Cool.
And
wow, Daniel's gambling, man.
well, it's setting up the same way as Negreanu played the aces.
That's true. That's
But
exactly right.
Shared mouse friend.
Wow. So he had top pair.
Is Benjamin going to get done hard here?
Check.
David checked.
All in.
Well, he's
Daniel's
just
gonna
stuck
win it.
200K into an 80,000 pot. I mean, what's up
Yeah.
with that?
Well, he thinks maybe Benjamin would fold 2 9s or 2 10s. You know, it's possible that he'd fold ace 8. There are some hands that Benjamin will fold here.
Does Daniel ever have ace 6 here? Or,
No.
no,
No, David's. I don't know what I don't know what David
5
Benjamin
6
is thinking
or
about here. We all know he's going to fold. So.
right.
You got 6s? Benjamin? 2 6s? That's my idea. I tried to guess one.
Put him on sixes, but I guess he would have called with sixes already.
It's not sixes. It's ace high.
No, he doesn't have sixes. For sure, no sixes.
That's the other advantage to Daniel just shipping there, is he might get Benjamin to call him with 2 6s or 2 7s.
Paint on the barn door. Schwartz has been the leader for quite some time, but positive momentum for Negreanu. He's chipped up into third, but there's no name on the engraver's stylus yet. Tensions rise here at the M Resort in Las Vegas as the 6 finalists confidently battle their way to be champion.
This is the moment to find out how my biorhythms are working right now. This is it.
I have the best hand for sure. It's impossible that I don't.
You're having your TV time, you're very smiley today. You don't even need makeup, such a baby face.
Is that your first one?
Back at the final.
He's wasted after
Game's so intimate here in the Ravello bar.
David, that's Patty, by the way.
Spectators just inches away from the players.
Yeah, he mentioned that yesterday.
Locke, though, hooded.
He's
and
drinking.
veiled
Drink,
with the
just like you.
sunglasses as well.
Starting right
He's
now.
not talking to anyone.
Sevens again?
Huh?
Sevens again?
Me sevens? No, I didn't have sevens.
That big bluff.
Huh?
Schwartz
That big
has
No,
got
I
a
didn't.
half smile on his face. It's DeWolf again.
But I didn't have sevens.
I'm fucking aggressive, sick player, the best player ever, and that's why it's not good
1.9-ish.
value for you.
That neighborhood.
Well, Luke talks like he's a great player.
Bruv.
What are you drinking?
And will DeWolf win this pot?
It makes you
Yep.
mad, huh? Yeah, you're doing the water thing.
And
Does DD, designated driver.
It's 22,000.
poor Safina, I mean, you know, he's calling pre-flop, doing a little raise wheel. He has not hit a flop yet, and his chips are slipping.
Probably. You would have.
You would have called, obviously.
Yeah.
I passed the test.
Yeah, after 38,000 you passed.
Yeah.
I mean, of course you could have king, queen suited or something and not want to be re-raised. Hard to move all in. Although there's 80, still not.
And this is a big tester for DeWolf. As you said, he has just been willy-nilly on the lock opens. It's just
The crazy thing is if you bet small, I'll probably move you all in.
Damn, that was stupid.
That's weird, isn't it?
Should've just
calling
bet. I don't know
here.
why I bet it all anyway, because I just figured I was already.
I think it's the first time he's just called line
Yeah,
as opposed to
lots of
re-raise or
4-5s.
fold. Good spot for Safina to call
Oh yeah, great spot to call. Are you kidding?
on the button.
Hold on.
It's a great spot to call. Hit yourself a ducky duck and count
Yeah.
the chips, man.
Yeah, the Safina needs the ducky duck.
Yeah, I mean.
And Locke could really use a 9-high board because he hasn't won a pot in a while.
Yeah, he really hasn't won a pot.
I mean, this
and there's
is a
He's
disaster
not going to
for
win
him.
this pot either.
How
'cause
can he win
Roland
it?
now has the nut flush
Right.
draw.
Did you see? He gave one of those little jerks like he just swallowed a shot of tequila before he made that bet.
Roland shipping it.
Like, that is the ugliest flop I have ever seen. But Roland wins this pot so many ways, right? I mean, if...
Oh, yeah.
But does he know? I mean, if Phil checks this turn, if it's a blank turn, is DeWolf going to take it off him? Is DeWolf taking this off him now?
Phil Locke's a little desperate. He might. Yeah, I think Roland has to bet 35, 40,000.
Because I mean,
Surprised he checked it.
Phil could so easily have an ace here, couldn't he?
Check. Check.
Oh!
Boy, Roland, I can't believe it, Roland. What were you thinking?
He let that one get away.
Oh my God, what was he
He
thinking?
let that
was
fish get away.
Incredible. After I bet and I got called, I was shutting down. I wasn't taking any more resistance. No 10 of clubs. 10 of spades is not the 10 of clubs. They're different cards.
Bet flop, nail called.
I bet flop. I was psychologically done with the hand.
No one goes out.
Roland, after playing so perfectly, He could easily be on 500,000 chips right now.
Oh yeah, that was his.
If he could bet 40,000.
Yeah, that was.
What did he have?
That's true.
Why didn't he just bet 40,000?
Could have taken Locke out of the ball game. Could have hit him out of the park.
If I would have called, would you have moved all in?
Fold.
Or re-raised? You remember? His hand?
No. Yeah, I would fold. I would have called for sure, 100% calling. Yeah.
He'd have 500,000 if he would have pulled the trigger there.
Man,
Yeah.
Get a little crazy.
I mean, when you're zooming over everybody, you might as well bet that.
Not just that, but like Phil Locke. I mean, how back in the game is he? Look at him. He's Unabomber back.
I'm going back to squeezing because I know when I'm in knit, it hurts Roland. I'm here to hurt Roland. Did that hurt you when I just folded for like 3 checkers? That
Wow,
hurt, right?
how happy is he? Look at him clapping. He just gave him life.
Knits that I never feel the pain when they fold. They're like, oh, that's just part of the algorithm. You know, ace jack fold. You know.
What a momentum switch.
Crazy.
Check.
God.
All right, David, raise it.
9,000.
Raise it.
Cool.
Oh, just
Yeah,
call.
he never folded in the flop, huh?
He doesn't. Why would you ever? Why would you ever bet against Benjamin on the flop? I don't know.
Later, but never on the flop.
So,
Well, Daniel got some information. He gets 2 free cards out of it.
is it time to double barrel this? I mean, you know, Benjamin makes you bet multiple streets, doesn't he?
Daniel checked behind him right away. Daniel has
Good.
a free shot at the straight. He's going to take it.
All right, I check.
Deuce.
Yeah, you win. Who can beat that?
I mean, you got to admit, Phil, Benjamin plays bottom pair better than anybody else in the game. Like, I mean,
Well,
maybe him and Gus Hansen. I don't know who can play bottom pair like David Benjamin. He is.
he does, but look, he plays bottom pair well, but he did lay down the 7s against Roland.
Yeah,
I
he
mean,
did. Yeah, he did.
What?
I still think you think you're playing over.
Panda can drink like a fish.
That's how you.
He does.
People hang themselves.
That's what he's made a living out of.
I've done really good. They see the ace, you're like, well, if I bet once he's a race, then I can fire one more, and then you're like, on the river, you're like,
Next day,
ace
it's
is
different, but.
Small hand, small putt. Big hand, big putt. That's the mouse in the trap.
just imagine if Roland would have made one more little bet there. He'd have the massive chip lead.
He is. It's amazing. He was so zoned in.
That out in the forums, because the
Nobody
last thing
saw.
I need the guys with the covers to read the like little 4-step algorithm I operate with him. You know?
Notice I said that out loud, huh?
Check.
I don't hate the check.
Daniel's limped in here, so he 3-way for the
I
flop
want to see a flop.
with the blinds.
I gathered that
Yeah,
by
I
like, the fact that he played 6,000.
Yeah.
Check. Check.
Do you want to see a turn as well?
I guess the reason to
Yes,
limp in there,
yes, I want to see a turn. Yes, yes, I want to see a turn.
you know, is
That
to
means you have
get
to call.
this matchup, have it come 3 diamonds, and just ship everybody. But
Right, well, I mean,
you know.
if it came 3 diamonds, he's going to
You're so
put some
dirty.
hurt on Roland there.
And Benjamin will have the ace.
I mean, I don't know. Sometimes I'll limp with the king, queen suited
Right.
and king jacks just to.
Just show a look.
Until it's 10 and 20,000.
level and all that bullshit.
Daniel's had a good last 10, 20 hands. He was down to about, what did we say, about 198. And then he played that really risky pot against Benjamin.
My hold'em skills.
Back up to 300K.
He's good at many games. Hold'em, maybe pot limit hold'em.
Fold. 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 Fold.
Can you play anything else?
Omaha.
Can you play stud 8 or better?
No.
I'll pwn you.
I can
Let's
do
go.
Omaha high low though.
Let's go. I'll pwn you. Stud 8 or better. Come on.
Limp in for Roland.
One of you.
Aces for Safina.
Is it?
Wow.
I
Let's see if he
don't
can raise like 6 or
You'll figure
8,000
him
or
out.
something.
It's a little unlucky for him because
It's not
they've
that
been
hard.
picking on his big blind, something fierce.
Chad Brown can do it, right?
That's funny.
Cool.
It's just randomly funny.
Wow.
How much
No, he
trouble
just gets
can
Chad
the
Brown
wolf
to do it.
get in?
Meanwhile, he's out the commerce playing 40 hours a week. in
Yeah,
one game,
I
you know?
know.
You're getting in a lot of trouble now.
Check.
Because you're kind of thinking about it, that Safina is a little bit desperate right now. Like, he should be pressing a little bit, right?
What are you drinking?
Well, every single move that Roland's made has kind of worked, so.
12:30.
22,000.
Let's see if he doesn't, you know,
No day off at all.
get crazy.
Running every day. 4 more miles in.
Well, I mean, Roland needs a 5 or a 6, and he's going to basically bust Safina. I
Right.
mean, that can be said.
But if he doesn't, Does he have to find a fold? Because we generally think that Safina doesn't usually double barrel. I mean, you don't expect him to double barrel, do you?
No, you really don't. I mean,
if he bets here, he's beating fives like a lot of the time or all the time.
95% of the time.
Yeah, that's hot.
28,000.
Chicks dig the back and body. Would you guys have second favorite? You would.
Must have been a little scared of that club, Giovanni.
This guy, huh?
I'm sure he didn't like it, but he made a good bet. You know, I mean, he made a good bet. He didn't step it up when he, on the one hand where it would have put him over the top, you know? He stepped it up, all those great plays he made, and he, but somehow got involved with some hands maybe he shouldn't have gotten involved with, and, you know, and he's left himself in just not that good a position, you know?
I mean, it's one thing to play well, right? But you got to play the big pots perfect, don't you?
Yeah,
You can't make a mistake in a big pot.
He's stolen a lot of pots, a lot of money, you know?
Well,
you're back in
check.
action.
Exposed card.
Gotta play the big pots perfect.
I don't either.
I don't know what he's trying to limp with sixes. He wants to maybe flop a set, but
Yeah,
he could make a little min raise. And
I mean, Luke's been kind of threatening him. You know, you raise my big blind, bruv.
I don't know what he had. That first hand when I.
You had to have something good to call you down.
I know. He had to have like
queens or
he either had a
jacks or
pocket
king
pair or he had
queen.
the king.
Well, Safina's let out here, and is it easy for Roland to figure out he doesn't have a 9?
Easy
Yeah.
call. I mean,
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like,
I don't think he gets away with queens and jacks.
before the flop.
Yeah, before the flop.
Easy call.
But then he might just call me before the flop, right? And then flops a king, he might get away then.
No, but he would, if you re-raise pre-flop, you would have to push and fold.
David would call.
He calls and he likes
yeah, he's
call.
a caller.
No, he just laid it down. Wow.
King, he's not gonna like it, and then I'm gonna just
Good lay down.
win the minimum.
No, you won a lot.
I did win. I won 85 on the river.
The Wolf back up to. There's just so little in it. I mean, they're all in it.
That's how Nit thinks. That's how Nit thinks. That's a lot of free blinds.
And I hadn't seen it before.
But like, these are all quite a long time ago. You need to come up with some new
New
stuff.
material. I invented modern things. But now variants of that existed before me, I hear. But
Yeah, and
the
who
actual
invented that? The variants.
I don't know. So I was told you were trying to do a false propaganda trail on some stuff, just like Daniel was trying to do with Felted or whatever.
David is like, I can predict what's happening. He's calling the flop. I haven't looked yet, but I'm probably going to check. Then on the flop, we're both going to check. You're going to bet he's going to call. After that,
That's probably gonna happen. Well, we should do dark. How about you guys check dark? I bet dark. He calls dark. You fold dark.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty funny.
I'd like to see that. It's a good flop for the ace high.
That's 10,000.
I have the best hand for sure. It's impossible that I don't.
That's true.
Literally impossible. It's impossible I don't have the best hand. Completely. Whatever. I mean, it's impossible that they have quads because they folded. You see what I'm saying? See how that works?
Are you on chain?
Well, the Wolves are closing in 3 levels, and nobody's exited this final table. Schwartz, the happiest, the chip leader right now, and the most aggressive at the table. But really, anybody could take down the title.
Next time, the final concludes, and we find out who will be crowned Premier League champion.
I'll go home and I'll smile. I tell you, I honestly will.
I fucking thought I had king jack on my or something.
I don't fold. What, for 10,000 so I can move up like a lock?
Come on now.
All right, count your money.
I haven't made a mistake all tournament. How could it do this to me?
That's pretty cute.
Yeah, that's a good flop.
Wow, that was pathetic.